Well, I can hear you. You can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, fucking sir. Well, welcome back, guys, to episode number 7 of the Sevn on Sevn podcast. Wow, it's kind of like 7th episode, 7 on 7. Welcome fucking back, guys. Today, I have my boy, fucking TEEVO, artist, producer, the NoFace Records community president.
What's up, you guys?
Man, I'm fucking stoked to have you here.
Absolutely,
I'm fucking
bro.
stoked to dive in, man. You guys are fucking doing huge things over at the label. You personally are doing huge things. So I'm fucking super stoked that you're here. Thank you for driving out and coming to be on the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
Dude, no, I'm fucking stoked. So let's start off, for those of you who maybe know him, don't know him, are going to know him after the show. Give us a little bit of a background of who you are. You know, where'd you grow up? Kind of what got you into the industry and shit. You know, kind of give us a little like rundown on who TEEVO is a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. So for you guys that don't know me, obviously I'm TEEVO. And so basically I'm 24 and I've been involved with electronic music ever since I was 9 years old. And and the very first experience that I had with electronic music was actually in Brazil. And so my family's from over there, and it was funny. One summer we're over there visiting everybody, and so not even 2 days pass, and then my cousins come up to me and they're like, yo, you know, there's this party going on down the street, you want to come with us? And you know, I was just that really energetic kid, and I'm just like, oh yeah, of course, you know, I'll go.
Yeah, let's
whatever.
fucking go party.
Yeah, like, let's go have fun, you know. And so we get in line, and then I remember I start looking around, and there's like no kids anywhere, and I'm just like, wait, am I allowed to be here?
Yeah,
you
totally.
know, like my mind is still in the U.S., like 21 plus ID, you know, the whole thing. And then next thing you know, I tell my cousin, and then he's like, bro, have you forgotten you're in Brazil? Like, we don't care about these things, you know what I mean? And then
that's crazy to me that like it's so weird to think that like in other countries, festivals or parties or like kids, literal fucking kids are allowed to like go to these things, because it's like here in the US you got to be 18 to do this, and then your next milestone
it's always laws
fucking,
and regulations.
18
you know
and then 21, and then you have to be 25 to fucking rent a car and shit. It's like these like gradual milestones to be able to like do more and more here in the States, but it's like overseas and like other places like you're allowed to do that shit.
Yeah, definitely.
At like any age. Like, bro, you can fucking have like a beer in like Europe or the UK when you're like 14.
Yeah.
Could you imagine motherfuckers here in the fucking States drinking? Well, I mean, they do.
Not to say they already do, but you know, it's a lot more complicated here versus
totally
other countries. And so I remember walking into that party, the very first track I heard.
Just pull that mic closer to you.
Okay. Yeah, so
there you go.
All right, there we go.
We go.
So I remember the very first track walking into that club was "Meet Her at the Love Parade" by The Who, and so that was a classic house track, you know. And so basically after that night, I started submerging myself like really deep into the genre. I started listening to stuff like as far as like the 70s and up, like really educating myself in this kind of music. You know what I mean? Because
like kind of the roots of like house music and shit.
Yeah, like how it was made, where
totally.
Where its origins was, everything. You know, I just got so deeply interested. And then towards high school, because like as soon as I got involved within the industry, you know, I just started watching like all these shows, all these sets, like Tomorrowland, EDC, you know, you name it. You know, it was
all the shows.
All the shows. And then, you know, I was really captivated by the fact, you know, that that guys, you know, were playing music in front of masses, you know what I mean? And then for me, like, even growing up, like,
Where did you grow up?
I grew up so I was born in Vegas, and then
no shit.
Yeah, I was born in Vegas, and then when I was 9 years old, we moved out here to the LA area, and we've been here ever since.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so as a kid growing up as well, like, you know, when the Grammys would come on, the Oscars, all these award shows, like, I was the first one, you know, plugged in watching it. I'm watching the pre-party, the after-party, you know, like, I'm watching everything, you know what I mean? So the music industry has always been part of me, you know. And then when I was 14, that's when I decided to pick up my first DJ decks. And so when I picked up my first DJ decks, it was funny. It's because I was in Best Buy with my neighbor, and at the time, at the Best Buy over by where I live, they had a Guitar Center in there because like there were certain Best Buys where you could find like Guitar Center, you know.
And Guitar Center always has the decks laying around.
Yeah, exactly,
Yep, totally.
exactly. And so I remember the very first controller that I saw was a Newmark, and it was one of their more professional decks. But you know, just looking at that, it was like, wow, you know, I just wanted it, you know, and so I started off with the basic, you know, Newmark mix track, and then little by little just started practicing in the room, and then once I felt I was comfortable enough, then I took it to my high school. And so my high school was a Christian high school, and you know, this has nothing to do with the
Hey, I went to fucking Lutheran Christian school all the way up until my fucking sophomore year of high school, so I know how it goes. I know the fucking
so like
roots.
It had nothing to do with the religion in itself. It's just simply the people I was associated with had no idea what electronic music was.
Totally.
You know what I mean? And like there were a few people that would listen to it, but you know, like finding someone like as deep into it as I was damn near impossible to find. You know
that's
what I mean?
crazy. We're very, very similar on that aspect. Like, very similar in the high school. Finding other people that was like into that type of music, like as much as like I was or you were. Like, so I connect with you heavy on that.
You know, it was, and then you know, throughout the same time, I was always trying to figure out, well, fuck, what am I gonna do? You know, in terms of my career, how am I gonna advance? You know, because like the thing was like, like the people even at my high school, you know, like they really vibed with everything I was playing. Like even recently, like some of my friends that I haven't seen in a while came up to me. They're like, oh my God, you know, I remember when you used to play in high school, and now you're playing, you know, these shows, like,
Totally.
You know what I mean? And so, you know, it's shit like that that's gratifying. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
And so, you know, as I started playing these shows, I was just, you know, constantly trying to figure out what to do next. You know, because like the thing was, it's like I was cool within my circle. Now it's like what's going on outside.
Totally.
You know what I mean? And so, for me, it was just always trying to find that way. And then, you know, I got into college, and then I pretty much had given up, you know, on music, because I was like, you know what, like there's no route. Like I'm stuck in a place I can't get out of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I got into college, and then I moved out to Puerto Rico for the first 2 years.
You lived in Puerto Rico for 2 years?
Yeah, I lived there for 2 years.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and I was over there for the whole like the hurricanes that destroyed the island. I was there for all of that. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I gotta ask. So, because that's fucking crazy to me. What is it like to be in a fucking hurricane? Because I don't like. I feel like hurricanes are probably the gnarliest like event that Mother Nature can throw at like a society or a civilization. Like they're fucked. It's like getting a left hook from Mother Nature.
No, exactly, and that's what it was. But you know, thank God also, you know, through like the friends that I had around me, like you know, it got to a point where you know you would start talking to people a lot, and it was to the point where you weren't even thinking about what was going on.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
You know, like
did they have like air raid sirens that went off and everything, and hurricane sirens and shit?
Yeah, so our school actually did have a hurricane siren, and so
that's fucking horrifying.
Yeah,
it's like Purge in real life.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I still remember up to this very day because at that particular school, I used to live in the extension homes. Like you had the dorms, you had the extension homes, and then I remember they had moved us over to the dorms, and so I remember literally opening up my window, and there was a tree that was right there, and then it picked itself out by the roots and then just flew off, you know. And so like at that point at that point I'm just like, all right, shit is getting real now, you know what I mean? Like
you're telling me this fucking tree derooted itself and then just took flight.
Like imagine that plant just lifting itself up and just
flying.
That's exactly what happened.
That is crazy. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Wait, so I want to ask you, because obviously, so we're into the DJing shit, and you're playing shows, and you know, from from middle school to the Christian school to college and then this. But did you start DJing before you started producing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been DJing ever since I was 14, and I've only been producing for about a year and a half now.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So then once I got into college, like at that point, there were a couple of people that I had met like on the streets that were promoters and stuff. But it was one of those things like you meet them and then you never hear from them again, right?
Totally.
And so at that
I've
point.
Fucking been there, done that.
Yeah. So at that point, I was just like, that's it. You know what I mean? And so then that's when NoFace came into my life.
Got
and so as I told you, as I tell all my guys, Max Vangeli, he's
I was gonna say for the people who don't know who Max Vangeli is, kind of give a little bit of a synopsis per se of who Max Vangeli is, because he is like basically almost like the face of NoFace Records.
Yeah, the face of NoFace Records.
So give a little synopsis of who is Max Vangeli.
Yeah, so Max Vangeli, he's a world famous DJ and producer, and so like the guy literally has toured with Swedish House Mafia. He actually came up like with all these guys that you see nowadays, like for example Swedish House Mafia. You see Joel Corey, list just goes on. Like basically all these big guys, Laid Back Luke, Dimitri Vegas, like Mike, all these big names. He also came up with all these big people.
Yeah.
And so basically like he became famous with one of Swedish House Mafia's brothers, which was Antoine. And so Max Vangeli and Antoine used to tour together, and then of course they would play their individual shows and whatever. But they produced a lot of tracks together, and so at the height of his career, Max was playing shows left and right, just like Tiesto was, and like that's basically a little bit about Max. Like he's a really big name artist, and
totally.
And so the crazy thing is when I met him, because like the thing was I was just on his Instagram, just like scrolling, and so he announces he has a label, and so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give it a follow. We'll see what happens. You know what I mean? And so next thing you know, I just started paying close attention to everything they were doing as a label, what they were doing for artists, for the community and all that. And so once I started noticing what they were doing and things made sense to me, the next thing you know, I put myself in there.
Yeah.
And then, next thing you know, you saw me on every comment, on every live, like you saw my face everywhere.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where these guys hit me up on my DMs. They're like, yo, who are you? Like, we've seen you everywhere on our comments. Like, we've seen you everywhere, but we don't know shit about you. You know what I mean? So it's like, who are you? And then that led to my very first call with Max. And then, I told him, and, at this time I wasn't producing, and, like I was wanting to get into producing, but, I hadn't there yet. I had no direction, no guidance. Like, I didn't have anything, and so basically after that phone call, he told me, listen, I want to elevate you as an artist and take you to that next level. And then for me, especially knowing the guy growing up, like for me, it was a trip, you know what I mean? Totally. And so, I took the opportunity, and then that's when I joined NoFace Academy. And so, just for the public to understand, so,
I was gonna say, explain a little bit of like, well, I guess like, before we describe a little bit of what the Academy is, like, for those of you guys who don't know of the label, of the record label that TEEVO is a part of, he's the community president, and that obviously Max Vangeli is the face of. We're talking about NoFace Records, which is a record label that is, honestly, I think they are doing such amazing things, and I think here in the near future, they are very, very much going to be on the level of an Armada, a Musical Freedom, a Spinning Records, and because like I really love what you guys do there, and I don't know Max personally, obviously just know him via Instagram or the couple comments or whatever, but like what I can notice and what I do appreciate about NoFace, which is rare to see in labels, is the fact of that there is so much engagement from, per se the owners of the people who are running it with the people they're signing or with the people that are involved with it. Mm-hmm. And I think that is such an important part of just a record label in general, is having that relationship and that, real fucking, just building block process with artists that you're signing and just fucking, that you guys really support and help up and coming artists get their music out, give them a platform to, just have more people hear their shit. And
Absolutely.
You guys are, you guys really aren't restricted genre-wise. You guys release a lot of different stuff. So, I want to just, give fucking big props to Max, because I'm sure he's going to listen to this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure Max is going to listen to this.
Yeah,
like I said.
Shout out Max, you're the homie.
Yeah, shout out Max. Like I said, I don't know you personally, but I do heavily respect what you're doing with NoFace, and the community that you guys are building is fucking awesome. I mean, from the first time, I don't even remember what it was, how we connected or via the label and stuff, that I had reached out and just gave you guys that props of hey, you know what, I really do fuck with what you guys are doing.
Absolutely, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's huge. Because I've dealt with some labels. I was signed to Sony Records for 2 years when I was 18, and it was fucking dog shit. And it's just labels will just
and it's
so
tough.
much shit on you as an artist to try and take advantage of you, or say they're going to do this and then don't do this, and they make you do this, and blah, 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 and blah, and the fucking list goes on and on.
Yeah, it's just, and the problem is, and a lot of artists say it themselves, it's because, people are signing into these deals that they have no idea what they're getting themselves into.
That is the fucking problem. And I've tried to explain this, too, to, people who aren't in the music industry, and the problem that I have with labels, and the reason why I usually always 99.9% of the time will release independent, because I want to keep all the rights to my music, to my masters, but just because of that fact, I no way think that you guys do this, but labels, they will fuck you.
Yeah, that's true.
They'll say they'll sign you for X amount of records or this and that. And what people don't realize about the fucking label shit, if you get signed to a label and for X amount of songs or a deal or whatever, and they give you, say, a $500,000 signing deal, that, you don't just get $500,000. That's a budget that they're giving you.
Yeah, that's fine. That's basically them coming to you saying, "Hey,
we think you're worth
$500,000. We're gonna give it to you
as an advance." But if you don't sell records, merch, whatever, and you don't,
if you can't pay it back,
that's debt. You owe that to the label. And
exactly.
I know people personally who have got fucking wrecked in label deals like that, and it's not anywhere near a $500,000 advance, but a 10, 20 grand, 30 grand, whatever, and
an advance is an advance, you know what I mean?
Yes, it's debt. It's debt if you don't hit the mark, and then what? You got to pay that off.
Yeah, and then it's how you gonna pay it off? You're not getting booked. You're not selling.
How the fuck are you supposed to do that? And then the biggest thing for me is the rights for the masters.
Yeah,
that is my sole reason of why I'm trying to. I just want to stay independent as long as I can. I'll do a single deal or this or that. In the future with you guys, or I've done one with fucking Deep in Heat Records. Shout out Alex Vela. But yeah, it's just the owning the rights to the music and it's being yours completely as an artist. Is so crucial.
Yeah, and that's it. And
the
that's
integrity of your work staying yours is, it's so fucking crucial.
Exactly, and that's why at NoFace, we don't sign anybody to these long-term deals, because we even know guys of our own, guys like you, many other guys have had many horrible stories with labels, even independent labels. I've heard some horror stories with some independent labels where I'm just my God,
Totally.
This could never be us, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely can't. And that's why I fuck with you guys. And that's why even though I haven't released anything with you guys, that's why I appreciate what you guys are doing
You got to start sending some shit in. You know what I mean?
Dude, my guy.
And by the way, for anybody wanting to send demos at NoFaceRecords.com.
Boom. Dude, yeah, I got like fucking 12 tracks I'm sitting on right now that like I'm just waiting to figure out what to do with. So like I'll honestly just send like a Dropbox to you guys. And,
yeah.
Like, if you're like, yo, this one's dope, like let's fucking do it. Like,
I
got hip hop shit I'm fucking working on with rappers and EDM shit and R&B stuff. Like
I actually just got promoted to A&R this weekend as well.
Oh, no shit. Congrats.
So basically, yeah, if you wanna show me after the show, then I'm here. You know what I mean?
Damn, look at this. We're doubling as a podcast and a fucking studio sesh with a fucking A&R for possible signings.
Double whammy.
Double whammy.
You know what I mean?
Dude, come on now. Two birds in one stone.
Two birds in one stone.
Yeah, I fucked that up. No, so I also do want to ask you, like, what do you think, as being part of NoFace and obviously being in the industry, what do you think makes NoFace so much different, like, than an Armada, Musical Freedom, a Spin-In, a fucking blah, 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 all the millions of fucking record labels there are, like, what makes NoFace different?
So what separates NoFace from the rest of these labels is that NoFace before anything is a community. You know
totally.
What I mean? And and it's really hard in the music industry to find communities where everybody feels at home. You know what I mean? Where everybody feels like family.
And I totally have to, like, I don't mean to interrupt, but that is like the biggest thing that I believe in, and I've said it on multiple fucking podcasts, and I truly believe this with all my heart. Like, whoever builds community first wins.
Exactly.
Like, if you have a true community and a place where you have a community and people feel safe at home, where they can get feedback and this and that, and they just feel like they're part of something that is not detrimental to them as an artist, like, where they feel comfortable, like, building that community is fucking so incredibly important.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're building a clothing brand, a label, you're an artist and you're building your community as an artist, whether you're a fucking painter, it doesn't matter. Like, getting the people involved in what you do and making them feel like they're a part of what you do is infinitely fucking crucial.
Exactly.
And I do think that's what you guys do very, very, very well.
Yeah, and also, independent of having the community, like everything, we offer within our community, the stuff we should be doing, instead of charging you guys like what, $10-15 a month, we should be charging you guys at least like $250. You know what I mean? Because also, how many labels do you go to, that you're gonna work with, and then they help you with other labels? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and they help you
totally.
They help you get to that next level. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And who knows? Maybe your track might not fit for NoFace, but shit, we know everybody in the industry. We could possibly get you in here.
Totally.
Here and there, and then,
which I think that is such a great thing that you guys do for artists. Like, you're not necessarily like a feeder label, but you guys are. Like, and I say that not in any negative way.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, so you, Max, don't take that in any negative way. But, like, the fact that you guys do that, where...
Yeah, it's like a stepping stone.
It is, what I mean? Which is so crucial, and which I love that you guys do. Be like, hey, you know what? This track is awesome, but it doesn't necessarily fit for us. But we do know labels that this might fit on. So let us get in contact for you and, like, see if possibly... we could get this on something else, or, like, having where you have artists that sign to NoFace and then say they release 10 tracks on NoFace, and then, their next track is fucking on Spin-In or something. Like.
Yeah, and for us, we celebrate those things. You know what I mean? Because, like, we've had guys, like, for example, we actually had a guy within our community who ended up getting a gold record, actually, and so. His story was he joined the academy, and Max told us, like, he came in, he was just like, very lost, you know, with everything. And then he made a track which blew up on TikTok. And then, you know, next thing you know, he had a golden record. And next thing you know, Ed Sheeran's hitting him up like, yo, I want an official remix.
So I want to ask you a question. As maybe like advice to the artists that are part of NoFace, or just a kind of in general, like, what do you think that, because I have my own opinions on this, but obviously this is a bias because this is my opinion, but what do you think like artists that maybe are part of the community and everything should be trying to do more of, like, to help grow the community, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, because the community within the label itself is great. Mm-hmm. But that community is confined within NoFace. Artists have to have their own community in order to really have success, be able to monetize their brand, their name, their likeness. Like, what do you think, as being part of NoFace, would be a piece of advice for you that you would give any artists that are signed to you or maybe not signed to you, follow you, et cetera, et cetera? What do you think they should try and do a little bit more, or, you know, anything like that?
There's a lot of things.
Yeah, there's a million
there's a million things that you could say about this, but like the main thing I always tell the guys is just keep pushing. Yes. Keep pushing, you know what I mean? Because like it's one of those things, like this industry is like one of those things, like once you start you can't stop. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like it's either you're in or you're out, you know, and
you're
the
all
thing,
in or you're all out.
Exactly. And you know, the thing for me is like being in this industry, like now I'm starting to understand the psychology of what it means to be an artist, what it takes to be an artist, you know what I mean? And so like, for example, you know, something I tell the guys, like 70% of artists that you see nowadays, the ones that fold, 70% of these guys, if you see these statements, it's all family pressure.
Yeah,
it's all family pressure.
That's valid.
And so
very valid.
And so the thing I always tell the guys is stay strong up here, because you know people are going to be throwing shit at you left and right, but you know if you're not all right up here, you're not going to be all right on the DAW either.
I agree with that 100%. And something that I believe, that I feel, is that artists need to realize, especially like up and coming artists or artists that are starting out, is like, I hate that it's this way, but it's just the reality of the age that we're in. And I'm sure you can contest to this. Anybody that's part of NoFace or any other label or just anything can contest to this. Like, we're in the day of age where being an artist, having good music isn't necessarily the most important thing anymore. It's not enough anymore.
It's not enough.
And artists need to realize, and like what I recommend anybody that's an artist to realize, whether you're a creator or anything, is that you are a brand, you are a business.
Exactly.
Like, and you have to look at it that way. And like that is very much why I have taken the route that I have in the doing music, fitness, and the podcast. Like,
exactly. You know, and all
Sevn
these
Heaven
things,
is a brand.
Exactly.
It's not just, hey, I make music, because I'm fully aware and I don't give a shit whether I know some people follow me for just my music and hate my podcast fitness shit. Mm-hmm. Cool. I know some people solely follow me for the fitness shit. Cool. And don't give a fuck about anything else, vice versa with the podcast.
Exactly.
I don't care. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're connecting with something that I'm doing, awesome. But like, you need to build a brand.
Absolutely.
That is you. That is an entity that like we said, the music is not the most important part anymore. It used to be where you just have to have banging fucking tracks and be able to do a good set, and that's all that mattered. It's not that way anymore.
The thing with music is, yes, you can have the quality music, but at the end of the day, if you don't have a personality that's behind the music, then it's like,
it doesn't matter.
It's like it's like there's nothing there, you know what I mean?
It's the package. Like, if people look for the package now.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you personable? Do you have other things? What's your TikTok look like? What else involved in? Do you have other interests? Are you other people engaging in other things that you're doing?
Absolutely.
I know that for some people that sucks, because I know a lot of people that aren't social media driven or aren't content driven on that aspect, and like, where it's like they'll just do music, where it's like, that's great. I'm glad you're passionate about that. I'm glad you're driven to do that. But you have to realize that there's more to that in the game today than just making music.
Exactly. And then even when you're on stage as well, you know, when you're performing.
Totally.
Like
look at Salvatore Ganacci, bro.
Exactly.
That fool is a fucking clown on stage, but everybody loves it because he's so personable.
Exactly.
Fisher doesn't even make it. It's all Chris Lake.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all Chris Lake. Exactly. Everybody knows that. No disrespect. I don't really give a fuck, if I'm being honest. I don't care because that fool's doing way better than I'm doing.
No, absolutely.
So, you know, so I'm saying shout out. I don't give a fuck, but it's like he works because he's a personality. People can relate. He's more than just an artist. He's more than I just make music.
Exactly. And you go to some of these shows and people don't even know the artist, but then they're just like, oh, but the way this guy is playing, you know, the dope. Way
his energy on stage.
Like, bro, like especially when we were just in New York, like I would hear comments of people like, yeah, like, you know, just the way he was playing, so beautiful. You know what I mean?
For
it's
sure.
like. It's a lot more than just the music, you know, and
it is,
and you know,
especially really is
like basically music now is just a funnel for whatever it is that you're doing.
Totally,
you know,
totally like that. It's just like a check on your resume. Like,
exactly.
Oh, he makes music. Mm-hmm. It's dope. Cool. What else do you do?
Yeah, exactly.
Like it isn't just that anymore. Mm-hmm. And like I want to. Because I know all the NoFace guys are going to fucking watch this because you're on here. And obviously, I always post about the fucking podcast. And, like, I'm going to talk directly to you guys. And I'm going to talk directly to anybody that's listening, that's an artist, that's a creator, that's anything. I don't give a fuck what you are. Like, do everything that you can possibly do for yourself if you want to be entrepreneurial or an artist or a creator to build yourself as a brand, to build yourself as an identity. Like, and whatever that is, just do it to the fucking best of your ability.
And own it.
Own it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I've said this on previous podcasts before, like, you got to understand, like, yo, if you want to fucking post fitness shit, say you're an artist, you're a whatever, I don't give a fuck. Say you want to post fitness shit, you want to start posting you cooking, do it. You want to start fucking doing vlogs of you at farmer markets. Do it.
Yeah, or are you dancing, you know, these bullshit TikTok dances? Like,
it doesn't matter.
Do it.
Do it. Because that is going to help you, get more comfortable within the social media realm if you're not already, and, like, understanding that, yo, there's more to this game now. And, like, it's just going to help people connect with you as a person, as a personality, per se, you know, in that aspect of just, like, okay, yo, he's dope, but, like, he does this, too. He's got a personality. I relate to him. He's so-and-so, like... And in the realm of all that, like, in the end, it helps more people come to your music.
Exactly.
Like, if someone else finds you off of your fucking cooking, you're doing yoga, you're whatever, I don't care. Like, it will drive people to check out your music a little bit more, just because they're like, okay, well, what else has this guy? Oh, he makes music? Like... And you have to be okay with that, of understanding that, like, some people might find you off something else that's not your passion of the music, but it's part of you and what you enjoy and what you like, and that will...
It's what makes you you.
It's what makes you you, and it will ultimately bring people to what your purpose is, your main focus of, like, I'm an artist, you know, and it'll drive people to that.
No, absolutely.
And, like, and that is just, like... To anybody and all the fucking guys of NoFace, I just, like, really encourage you to do that. And I've seen some more people in the academy and people, you know, posting some more not so music shit and doing some different shit. And then it's like, keep doing that. Like,
exactly.
Keep doing that shit, because there's more to the game nowadays than just making music. Alrighty. I want to ask you something. Based on your personal experience as an artist in the industry, as community president, as involved with labels, et cetera, what do you think makes someone successful in this industry? Like, What do you think is the difference between person A and person B? If someone had a different trait or someone did something better, like what do you think makes people successful in the music industry? Because I mean, I feel like it's a skewed question because it's like, fuck, there's some people that blow up overnight on TikTok. Like some people just have a hit fucking song that does blah blah blah, and then now they're in the studio with so and so. Like it's just such a different world nowadays where someone can go from zero to hero overnight. But like, what do you think is like the true aspects that an artist needs?
Personality.
Personality. That would be your number one answer.
Personality, because the thing is, and Carnage said it best himself. There was an interview that he did back in, I want to say it's like 2015. It was at one of these conventions that EDC threw down, and something very important that he said that not a lot of people caught on to, but now is becoming relevant. The people that are going to survive in the industry are the people that have personality.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting that answer, but I wasn't, because it's like that just shows. And for those who are artists that are listening, that coming from a fucking big label guy, now promoted to an A&R, you heard it here. Number one answer for success is personality. See, and that just proves that it's not all about the music right now.
Yeah, because labels are gonna come up to you, you know, they'll be like, "Oh, cool, you know, it's like your music's amazing, but you know,
you're fucking boring."
But you're boring. It's like we're not gonna sign that. You know what I mean? Like
for sure.
Yeah, and so personality is definitely something very important, but. You know, with your personality, the music will speak for itself.
Mm-hmm. I think that is a big key that you just said of if you have personality, the music will speak for itself. In the way where I feel that it connects in, you know, or I should say ties into the personality music connecting aspect is like if someone listens to your music, they should be able to hear you in the music. Like,
exactly.
The videos they see, whether they find you on TikTok or a reel or explore page, and it's some video that you made that's maybe not correlating to music, but then they listen to your music, they're like, oh, this makes sense. Like,
exactly.
This is this guy. Like, I can hear it. Like, in his music.
Yeah, and then you know when people start looking at you, it's like, okay, you know, like I can see why this guy made this style of a particular track. You know, like you can see through the track
for sure.
The person, you know,
for sure. And also something that I really harp on, and I'm such a believer in, and that like I want everybody who's an up and coming artist that isn't already established to realize is make whatever the fuck you want to make.
Exactly.
You're an artist. Make music. Music is not one genre. Don't pigeonhole yourself. There's so many examples in the industry of big artists that made the same genre of music and then decided, hey, I want to try something different, and they got fucking hated on. The number one example I always use is Getter. Fucking hardcore dubstep, all this fucking bass music forever, and then came out with the Visceral album. The Visceral album is fucking beautiful. That album is amazing. And then he went on tour for the Visceral, and people were like, oh, this isn't dubstep, and he canceled the tour because like everyone fucking hated on it. I'm almost pretty sure that happened. It's like,
you know what the problem is, and
don't fucking pigeonhole yourself.
There's that, and you know what the problem is because, like, for example, guys like Getter, you know, Swedish House Mafia is another example.
Totally,
of this.
Like their last single.
Bad.
No, you're good. Like their last single or whatever was kind of like, I know a lot of people were like.
But what happens? What happens is these artists get so big, and then you know people are already accustomed to whatever it is that they were already making. Yeah. So then you know when they do that little switch up, it's like, whoa, what happened? You know what I mean?
Go back to what you were doing.
Yeah, like Swedish House Mafia. You know, like for example, when they dropped the album, you know, announced the tour, all of that, you know, everybody was like, oh shit, Swedish House Mafia is back. But then, you know, with certain tracks,
this is going to be the antidote. Fucking Don't You Worry, Child. Swedish House.
Yeah. People were waiting for that. But then when they got something completely different, and you know, once you're at a certain point as an artist, like it's valid, you know, to go different. Totally. You know what I mean? And Swedish House Mafia, they've established themselves to a point where it doesn't matter what direction they go.
Totally.
Like, they're already known, and it's not going to affect them in any way.
But I do agree with that like artists that are established, but Swedish House and people like that have been in the game for a very, very long time. Mm-hmm. But it's like, if you're an artist now and you're coming up now, like, I personally feel, dude, make everything.
Yeah, make everything.
Work with everyone. Like, why would you not want to be able to be in the studio with a house artist, with a fucking rapper, with a fucking reggaeton fucking artist, with a jazz artist? Like,
yeah, you gotta
have all your doors open.
Yeah, you gotta be susceptible to expand in this industry.
Yes, and diversity and what you're able to do production wise, like, is like, so, I feel so vital, because it's like, you're limitless to who you can work with, what you can do, what you can make, what you can be a part of. Like,
yeah,
I feel like that comes back to the branding aspect and the community thing. Like, you could have all these fucking different things and genres that you make, but it's all, in a sense, you.
Exactly.
Which I think is the biggest part, and that is, I know, is so hard, is like, to make all these different things so you never pigeonhole yourself, because it's music, it's art. You need to make whatever you feel that you need to make, because you're an artist.
Yeah, exactly. And some artists, they're gonna stick to just one genre. But the thing is, it's like,
and it'll work really well.
Yeah, and it works really well. But the thing is, once you start branching out with other genres, and me even personally, because like, I've just been in the house scene like forever, and I'm even me, I'm starting to look at like other genres and shit like that, because the thing is, it's like, surprisingly, a lot of people that are in the house scene, other genres are coming to the people in the house scene being like, yo, make this for me,
Yeah, exactly.
That's totally the thing. It's like, you gotta be susceptible to other genres, you know what I mean?
Have to be. And I think that's why people like Diplo have been in the game for so long but have stayed relevant. Just because, like, he does everything.
He works with everybody.
He works with everybody.
And
like, someone else too that I really admire, and that like I have friends that are close with him, is Nitty Gritty.
Nitty Gritty, yeah, especially.
I love, like, personally, for me, I would feel like Nitty Gritty would be like, in a sense, my like, kind of like, I'm looking at you and I'm seeing how you're moving type artist. Because
exactly.
Like, dude, he'll drop future bass with Run. He'll drop a fucking dirty house track with fucking Valentino Khan.
Yeah.
He'll fucking drop a rap track. He'll drop a pop punk EDM track.
And that's the thing.
He'll drop like, dude, his catalog is so vast, but like, he has such a great fan base and loyal fan base, because it's like, he's never pigeonholed himself.
Yeah, exactly.
And which I love. Yeah. I fucking love that.
Yeah, and that's the problem. when artists do pigeonhole themselves, then, it goes back to what we were saying. You make that one switch up, it's like, oh shit, what happened, like.
Yeah, totally. Like, that, like, one of the prime examples is like, for me and like people that I know, is like Porter. Mm-hmm. Like, when Porter was in his World's Day, Shelter days, with Marion, and like that type of Porter, and like when he's kind of gone to his newer style, like on his Nurture album, it was a good album. Like, I'm just speaking from personal, like, I was missing something from it, because like, it's Porter. Like, Porter has such like a certain like.
Yeah, there's much more.
But it's also like, I do respect it and I understand, because he's trying to branch out and do a different sound and do what's true to him, which I do respect. But
exactly.
It's like, I do know a lot of people that were like, fucking Nurture was dog shit, because, how do you go from the fucking Spitfire albums and fucking
and also that's
Worlds to, something like Nurture, where it's not very like Porter-esque, but like, there was a lot of songs, and like, I like, contextually as an album, like, I did appreciate it and like understand like where he was going, and like, I do like where he's going, but Porter's fan base is so next level that like, Porter can do whatever the fuck he wants to fucking do.
Exactly, and that's the thing with music; it's constantly changing. Like for example, I'm gonna bring up Hardwell. Really great example. So a lot of people, they come to me, especially within the NoFace community. They're like, oh, so what do you think of the whole Hardwell situation? And this is what I think. So the thing was that guy, he was brought up on Big Room, right? Totally. Everybody knew him for Big Room, you know, big sounds, real
Big Room Prog House,
you know, Big Room Prog
Electro House,
yeah, the whole thing,
totally.
And so now, you know, that unfortunately, as much as I hate saying it, like the Big Room scene has basically diminished itself.
It has gone down quite a bit.
When COVID hit, you know, so did. Basically that's when Big Room died, you know what I mean? Because
why do you think that is?
Because the thing is, it's like Big Room, you know, as I was saying earlier, was made for festivals, you know what I mean? And true. So the fact that these festivals stopped, that's when Big Room died. And so for Hardwell, it's just like, okay, you know, everybody knows me for these big sounds, you know. So what's the next?
What's the evolution?
Yeah, what's the next step after Big Room? Techno.
Yeah,
techno. And so techno, you know, you have those heavy kicks, you know, very very aggressive synths, you know. And so for him, it was like, okay, you know, this is perfect because, you know, I'm still keeping that Hardwell elements, those hard elements, but, you know, it's just
different now.
It's just different, yeah, you know totally. What I mean? And so for me, I was just kind of like, yeah, I knew he was going to do this. You know what I mean?
It was kind of inevitable. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hardwell's such a legend, dude.
Yeah, and he is. And
Hardwell is such a fucking legend. Like, I honestly just...
Yeah, and he was
let fucking Hardwell do Hardwell.
Yeah, and he was a guy that I also, you know, looked up to for just as long as Max Vangeli, you know what I mean? And so, you know, to see Hardwell back in the scene, like just him being back in the scene, like it made me so happy, you know what I mean?
It's like God, one of the OGs.
It's like the back. Kings are coming back, you know what I mean?
Like, Swedish House Mafia is coming back. Fucking Hardwell was back at fucking Ultra. You know, Swedish House Mafia is coming back at fucking Coachella. So it's like,
yeah, it's crazy.
And, didn't they Swedish House Mafia premiered again for the first time? Where was it? Was it Ultra?
Last
year? Not this year.
I think so. Yeah, I think it was last year.
Yeah, it was last year. They like came back as the trio again.
Yeah, they came back as the trio, started playing like all their new stuff, you know.
So, I mean, that's just the evolution as an artist when an artist has been in the game that long. Like they've been in the game since it was all about the music, and like now it's not so much, like we've been saying over and over again, but you know, just let them fucking do that.
Exactly.
They've earned it at this point.
Yeah, they've earned it, and it's to the point where like nobody can fuck with them.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Nobody can fuck with them. Totally. So I want to fucking ask you like 2 questions here. We're gonna fucking kind of like wrap things up a little bit. I want to ask you 1 question and followed by a next. The first question is like, what would TEEVO's one, I could either call it life advice or just advice for people in general, people in the scene, label owners, A&Rs, artists, like what would be like a piece of advice that you would give to somebody? Maybe it could be like a quote, it could be something that you live by or something that when you were coming up, like you really believed in and got you to where you are. Like, what would you say would be like that statement or something that you could tell the audience or people who are watching and listening, like a piece of advice?
Believe in yourself and you will be unstoppable.
Man, you have to believe in yourself before anybody else will believe in yourself.
Exactly.
You cannot wait for someone to think that you can do it, because then you'll just never do it.
Yeah, like you know, and this music thing is like no different than like, for example, like when you're getting in a relationship with a girl, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, before you love someone else, you got to love yourself. You know what I mean?
Self-care
it's no different in this music thing. You know, you got to believe in yourself, and believing in yourself, you will sell other people into your product.
Into your belief.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
You just believe so heavily in yourself that, yo, I'm going to do this, that other people will be like, man,
yeah, exactly.
I'm on board. I'm on fucking board with this.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and then when you start talking to people in confidence in that what you're doing, you know, people are gonna see that reflect through you, and then people are gonna appreciate that much more. You know what I mean? There's a lot more value in that.
Fucking goddamn fucking nailed it on the head. I believe in that so heavily, and that just ties to the believing in yourself, but also making sure that you're giving back to the community and to people who follow you and fuck with you and listen to your music or don't listen to music, follow you for other things, like to inspire other people. And,
exactly.
You know, like that's really what it's all about, is like, if you can just inspire, touch one person with something that you're doing, like, that's really what it's about.
Yeah,
like helping someone else get motivated or feel like they can do it. Like,
exactly, and you get that other person motivated, that motivates you as well. You know, it's like we're constantly gassing each other up while gassing ourselves up.
Totally. Fuck, man, I fucking love that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna ask you a fucking final question. It's on every fucking podcast. It's 7 on 7's Song of the Day. If you had one song, it can be a fucking song, EP, album, doesn't matter whether you're listening to it or it's coming out. Could be on NoFace if you want to shout out a NoFace release. What would be your fucking song of the day? Fucking TEEVO's 7 on 7 Song of the motherfucking day. What would it be?
Wow, that is...
Yeah, it's a fucking question. I know, it's a fucking question.
I mean...
I always put fucking people on the spot for this one.
I mean, the thing is, it's like, for me, especially as a DJ, you know, that's the hardest question to ever ask a DJ, you know, what their favorite track is. Yeah. But, you know, if I had to lay down one track, like, off the top of my head, would be Human by John Summit. Very beautiful. Yeah, it's a good track. It's a very beautiful track, you know, it's very different, you know what I mean?
No, I personally, I was just listening to that track the other day. So.
Yeah, and then also, as for me, I got stuff coming out real soon. I got stuff coming out on NoFace, and then I'm also working with some other labels right now, trying to see like who gives me the best deal on certain tracks. But yeah, there's another one that I got like 5 of them after right now. You know, just kind of
going after,
trying to see what I can get. But you know, there's a lot more coming from TEEVO this year as well. So.
Man, I fucking cannot fucking wait for all of it, dude. That's gonna fucking do it, guys, for fucking episode number 7 of the 7 on 7 podcast. Once again, TEEVO, thank you so much for fucking coming on.
I appreciate you for having me.
Dude, thank you so much for driving out and coming to be a part of this. And just, I'm fucking stoked for everything that you're doing personally. I can't wait for all the new music and all the things that you're doing. I'm so stoked for all the things you're doing at NoFace. Once again, fucking shout out NoFace Records.
Shout out to NoFace and the family. Yes. I love you guys. You guys are absolutely amazing. You guys are the reason I am who I am today. Yep. You know what I mean? Like,
big fucking shout out. He fucking loves you. We all fucking love you. Shout out Max Vangeli one more time.
Yes, sir, my boy.
Yep, the fucking boy. But that's gonna fucking do it. Fucking guys, I'm fucking so stoked that I fucking got to have you on. I've been wanting to have you on for a long time.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you coming out. Once again, I will put all the fucking links to TEEVO's Spotify and Instagram and everything, and NoFace Records in the link to the podcast and the YouTube video. So you guys can go check it out, follow it. If you don't already, make sure you follow it and make sure you keep up with what he and fucking everyone at NoFace is fucking doing, because they're doing big fucking shit.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. But fucking once again, guys, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys to who are watching.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, and we will fucking see you guys next time. Dang.
That was awesome, bro.